Good morning, bright minds! I hope you are having a wonderful day. I am Ma'am Armina Sereno of Venteriales National High School. You can just call me Ma'am Angel, your virtual learning buddy for today. Let me and your English teachers know that you are tuned in by sending in your heart reacts. Today's topic is taken from the alternative delivery mode entitled Cohesive Devices. These are our objectives for today's discussion. Identify the cohesive devices in the sentences. Link the ideas, sentences, and paragraphs using cohesive devices. Analyze the usage of cohesive devices. Let's play a game. We're going to call this game Pick Connect. I will show you a set of images. You need to connect them to come up with a word related to a specific category. Our category is Valenzuela City. I will give you 5 seconds to type in your answer. Are you ready? Here is our first set. Time's up! Well done. The answer is Mayor Rex. Let's see the next set. Time's up. The answer is discipline. Great job. And here is the last set. Time's up. The answer is historical. You are amazing. That was so much fun. Just like in our game, making connections between ideas is important. It is necessary to ensure that the sentences we write are linked to achieve a cohesive text. One important quality of any written text is cohesion. Cohesion refers to the many ways in which the elements of a text are linked or joined together. Let us look at this paragraph. Observe if the sentences are linked together. The BG Regale, or Sansevieria Florida, can be considered the most expensive plant in the Philippines. The BG Regale is worth roughly 2 million pesos. It is created by the horticulturist Boyet Regale. The plant expert said that it takes 10 years to produce such plants. That is why it is very expensive. On top of that, it involves exposing the plant to chemicals and radiation in a process called mutation breeding. Did you find the paragraph cohesive? Please send your heart emoji if you think so. Let us analyze the paragraph and check for cohesion. Let us begin with the first and second sentences. The BG Regale, or Sansevieria Florida, can be considered the most expensive plant in the Philippines. The BG Regale is worth roughly 2 million pesos. Is there a link between the two sentences? Yes, there is. You are correct. We can see that the subject of the first sentence, BG Regale, is also the subject of the second sentence. Now let us look at the second and third sentences. The BG Regale is worth roughly 2 million pesos. It is created by horticulturist Boyet Regale. Are the ideas in these sentences connected? You're right, they are connected. In the first and second sentences, the subjects are the same. Here, we can see that the subject in the third sentence, which is the pronoun it, refers to the subject in the second sentence. You are doing great, learners. Let us continue with the third and fourth sentences. It is created by horticulturist Boyet Regale. The plant expert said that it takes 10 years to produce such plants. That is why it is very expensive. The third sentence tells who the creator of the plants is and describes him as a horticulturist. The writer used an unfamiliar word in the third sentence that he also gave the meaning of in the following sentence with the term plant expert, giving the reader's focus on the idea being presented while providing variety in the word choices. Lastly, let us look at the last two sentences in the paragraph. The plant expert said that it takes 10 years to produce such plants. That is why it is very expensive. On top of that, it involves exposing the plant to chemicals and radiation in a process called mutation breeding. Here, we can see that the fourth sentence explains why the plant is very expensive. The next sentence gives an additional reason. What expression did the writer use to indicate adding of information in the previous sentence? Correct! The writer used the expression on top of that. Great job, learners! Now that you understand what cohesion means, let us go through the different ways we can use to achieve cohesion in writing. Number 1, repetition of a key term or phrase. Number 2, synonyms. Number 3, pronouns. Number 4, transitional words. And number 5, sentence patterns. Now let us discuss them one by one. The first method that we can use to make sentences connected is repetition of a key term or phrase. It helps to focus your ideas and to keep your reader on track. Let us look at this example. A new sports park is soon to rise in Valenzuela City. The sports park is located in Barangay Wawang Pulo. What keyword or phrase is mentioned in both sentences? That is right. The term sports park is used as a subject in both sentences. Repeating keywords and phrases can make a powerful cohesive effect, but too much of it can make a paragraph absurd for the readers. The next method is the use of synonyms. We know that synonyms are words with the same meaning. It makes us repeat ideas using different words. Look at this example. The location of the new Valenzuela City Sports Park is formerly a recessed land. The ground was sunken and lower. The idea in the first sentence that the ground was recessed is repeated in the next sentence, but the writer used the words sunken and lower. Method number 3 is using pronouns. We know that a pronoun is a word used to replace a noun. By using pronouns, we are also repeating an idea by using a different word to avoid redundancy. Let's have a look at this example. The park is situated in a quiet community with fresh air as it is far from traffic. It is a perfect spot for a sports park. In this example, the pronoun it in the second sentence refers to the term community in the first sentence. The next method is using transitional words. Look at this example. The ground in which the park was being built was recessed. Because of that, truckloads of soil were needed to elevate it. In this example, the second sentence uses a transitional phrase because of that to express cause and effect relationship. The fifth and last method is using sentence patterns. Sometimes using parallel grammatical forms and sentence patterns is a great way to make connections between ideas and help readers follow along. Let us have this quote as an example. Give a man a fish, and he will eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, and he will eat for a lifetime. We can see the obvious parallelism in these sentences. These sentences basically have the same words, but the author interchanged some words in the second sentence to create an emphatic, contrasting idea. These are the cohesive devices that we can use in writing sentences and paragraphs. Again, they are repetition of a key term or phrase, synonyms, pronouns, transitional words, and sentence patterns. Let us see if you can now identify cohesion in a text. Hit the like emoji if you think that the text uses cohesive devices. Are you ready, learners? Let us begin. Number 1. My friends and I will leave for South Korea tomorrow. Going there has been our long-time dream. Does it show cohesion? Hit the like emoji if your answer is yes. Great! The answer is yes. The pronoun there connects the idea of the second sentence with the first by referring to South Korea in the first sentence. Number 2. Many friendships have been created through Facebook and other social media. Even if we are not allowed to go out, we can keep in touch with friends through Facebook. Does it show cohesion? Hit the like emoji if your answer is yes. Correct! The answer is yes. We can see that the word Facebook is used in both sentences. Number 3. We spend so much of our day on screen. Because of this, we become less active. Does it show cohesion? Hit the like emoji if your answer is yes. Excellent! The answer is yes. These sentences show a cause and effect relationship and uses the transition because of. Great job, learning buddies! Speaking of transition words, wouldn't you agree that one of the most common cohesive devices that we use and encounter are transitional words? They do not only connect ideas, they connect ideas in a variety of ways. Let us enumerate some of them. Transition words can be used to link ideas by adding information. These are some of the words that we can use to express adding of ideas. And, as well as, moreover, furthermore, in addition to, on top of that, and another point is. For example, we will have a follow-up discussion in English tomorrow. Our science teacher will be meeting us too. The next one is sequencing. Words like first, firstly, first of all, second, secondly, third, next, meanwhile, now, and subsequently can be used to express chronology of ideas in a paragraph. For example, we used to do a lot of things the hard way. Now, we can do everything online while at home. The next one is illustrating. The expressions that we can use to illustrate are, for example, such as, for instance, in the case of, as shown by, illustrated by, and one example is. For example, we should be respectful while watching Valenzuela live. For instance, avoid sending unnecessary comments. The next one is comparing. To compare ideas, we can use similarly, likewise, as with, like, equally, and in the same way. For example, Mark was not able to watch the lessons lately due to poor internet connection. Similarly, Jenny was having problems with their Wi-Fi. Next we have qualifying. Expressions like but, however, although, unless, except, apart from, as long as, and if can be used to link conditions or intentions. For example, attending classes online can be fun. However, there are many challenges. The next one is contrasting. We can also connect ideas by focusing on their differences. We can use expressions like whereas, alternatively, unlike, on the other hand, conversely, having said that, nevertheless, and however. For example, learners are generally disciplined when watching Valenzuela live. Having said that, there are still some who send irresponsible comments. Next we have cause and effect. One of the more common connections between sentences is the cause and effect relationship. To express this, we can use the terms because of, as a result of, consequently, therefore, thus, owing to, and due to. For example, many learners do not have gadgets for online learning. Thus, the city government of Valenzuela provided smartphones for them. Next is summary. The expressions in short, on the whole, in other words, overall, generally, in general, and in brief, can be used to summarize ideas to indicate a final general statement. For example, on the whole, the continuation of education amidst the pandemic in the city of Valenzuela through the Valenzuela Live is a success. The last one is emphasizing. Words such as above all, in particular, especially, significantly, indeed, and notably can be used to indicate importance or emphasis. For example, the pandemic has had tremendous effect on the lives of people. In particular, the education of children was put at risk. Wow, that was a lot of transitions to remember. Now that you have learned about transition words that we can use as cohesive devices, remember to not overuse them. Overusing transitions creates distracting and incoherent writing. Now, let us practice choosing correct transitions. Choose the appropriate transition word in these texts. Type in your answers. Number 1. There are a lot of ways to have fun at home. Blank, getting a hobby you can do at home like drawing can be very enjoyable. What transition word should we use here? Is it however, meanwhile, or for instance? Type in your answers. The correct answer is for instance. Well done. Urban gardening can be a great and relaxing hobby. Growing your own vegetables can be really helpful in this time of pandemic. Blank. What transition word should we use here? Is it although, to, or therefore? Type in your answers. The correct answer is 2. Great job! Let us now have the recap. Cohesion refers to the many ways in which the elements of a text are linked or joined together. Some cohesive devices that we can use to link ideas in paragraphs are repetition of a key term or phrase, synonyms, pronouns, transitional words, and sentence patterns. There are many ways that transition words are used. They are adding, sequencing, illustrating, comparing, qualifying, contrasting, cause and effect, summarizing, and emphasizing. Remember, do not overuse transition words, for that will cause distraction and incoherence in writing. Now it's time that you ask questions. You know the drill. Send in your questions and our teacher moderator will be gathering them. I will be right back after a minute. And I am back. I will be reading some of your questions. Thank you to our teacher moderator for gathering them. Your questions, which will not be answered, will be addressed by your subject teacher in your follow-up discussion. Here is our first question from Malanday National High School. What is the difference between cohesion and coherence? Coherence and cohesion are closely related. Coherence is when the main idea of a text is understandable. Coherence gives sense or meaning to a text. On the other hand, cohesion is when the link between ideas in a text are visible and understandable. These ideas are linked logically, and cohesion is usually achieved with the help of cohesive devices. Our next question is from the Landanan National High School. When using a transitional word, where is the best place to put it in the sentence? Transition words can go almost anywhere in a sentence. It could be in the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. The key is that a transition word refers back to the previous thought or forward to the next thought. Thank you, learners, for sending your questions. I hope I have answered them well. As you accomplish the tasks in your modules, make sure that you follow the directions correctly. Also, join and participate actively during your follow-up discussion tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. See you in the next Valenzuela Live. This has been Ma'am Angel saying keep safe, stay indoors, and be healthy. Happy learning!